everybody, this is Alyssa from Mink Arts and Crafts, and today we are kicking off the Lunar New Year DP Along 2024, which you can use the hashtag Lunar New Year DP24 for posting any progress photos anywhere along the way. Also, feel free to tag me in any of your photos as well in case the hashtag doesn't show up, because Instagram, Facebook, all of that can be a little bit weird if you're posting on Facebook, but mostly Instagram if you're posting. Sushi's in modes. Today I am going to be working on this festival calendar. I thought it'd be fun to have a little calendar that can sit on my desk. I haven't decided if I'm going to take it to work or leave it here at home. We will see, but I thought this would be perfect, a little calendar, and it's got a little dragon boat that it is going to sit on. So we're going to work on this little Lego calendar while I talk a little bit about what the Lunar New Year is. So I figured I'd kind of do a little bit of an introduction. I don't like perforating Lego sets with the that thing there, so I like to just usually I use a butter knife, but I don't have a butter knife in here, so we're just going to use regular scissors while the kitten causes chaos over there to open this, to get that section in there. So today I'm just going to kind of do a little bit of an introduction for you about what is Lunar New Year. If you're new and you don't obviously not just if you're new, but not everybody knows what the Lunar New Year is. Look at all of these sets. I love it. So I'm going to kind of leave this, we're going to put it off to the side. I want to make it so you can actually see what I'm working on. That's going to be bag 4, bag 2, let's see our base set, bag 3. And then here we have our numbers and our instruction booklet for our Legos. All right. So, but before I get into that, what I do want to talk to as well for you guys, which I'm super excited about, is we have three of our sponsors. Let me turn on this light a little bit more. It's on, but it's low because I didn't want the glare. But now that we don't have to worry about so much of a glare, I can turn it up and be nice and brightly lit for you all. But 3 of our sponsors have so generously decided to offer discount codes on their website for us during our event. I love when there's a perforated edge, and I didn't even realize there was a perforated edge to this bag. Go figure. So you can actually you purchase off of their website and get some discount, different discounts, and I'll give you those codes in a moment here. I want to get these bags open. It's hard for me to do and talk at the same time. So let me dump this out. And I don't know that I've tried to do any Legos with the kitten around. I like to put my empty bags inside the box. So we're going to do that. Where do I want to put it? The kitten isn't going to cause chaos. I'll just put it in front. Hey, no, you can't have those things. These are not for kitten. No Legos for kitten. And get off the iPad. Come on, no. Okay. This kitten, oh my goodness, you can sit there and supervise. But anyways, so the sponsors that are going to be offering discount codes for us during the event of my sponsors for Jenny Rose Designs over on Etsy, and all of the shops will be linked down below for all of the sponsors, not just the ones offering discounts. But Jenny Rose is offering a 10% discount with the code DRAGON. 15% discount with the code DRAGON. I wrote it down and I still spoke things wrong. So with her code DRAGON, you can get a 15% discount off of everything in her shop. And she has some really cool tumblers and some additional really cool things on her shop. We're going to move this stuff out of the way a little bit so we can actually see a little bit more. So that's awesome. So we have the 15% off code. But then what we also have, and this is new as of just this week, just being announced for the first time today for you guys, Swartz Designs by Abigail Marie. So Abigail is offering us 10% off everything in her shop, including diamond paintings and everything else. 10% off with the code Lunar New Year, and I'll have those posted for you guys as well. So pretty awesome. And then also Steph over at Lazy River Crafts is also giving us a discount code for the event. So you can get, you'll be able to get a 15% off anything on her shop with the code Lunar during the event. So this is going to run for the month of February, which is pretty doggone awesome because they both have some amazing artwork. And I think that is pretty phenomenal that our sponsors are offering us such amazing discounts and deals throughout the event. So definitely head on over and check everything out. This kitten, oh my goodness. I don't know if you can see the little, I think her paws are just outside of the, there. So we are going to work on this, and I am going to try to multitask. We will see how it goes. But I just want to say a huge thank you to Jenny Rose and Steph and Abigail for offering these discount codes for us to use throughout the event. And then also for the rest of our sponsors, because I can't wait for all of these prizes and everything that we'll have throughout this event. I think it is going to be so awesome and so much fun. And I am super, super excited for it, you guys. And to be able to offer you everything that you get to see throughout this event. I think it's going to be fun. And I was just super excited to be able to work on, to finish Secret Temple, to be able to then start working on my event canvases and all the goodies for my event canvases. Oh, it's going to be so much fun. Anyways, just slightly excited here, just slightly excited. And I have been saving these Legos specifically for working on in February for the Lunar New Year. So you ask, what is the Lunar New Year? And this video is probably not going to be super long. I'm going to kind of talk a little bit, and then I don't know if I'm going to, and I'll probably do a time lapse to finish the rest of this if I don't finish it in time. So you ask, what is the Lunar New Year? This is the part where I have to like look and get my pieces, and then also try to read my iPad over there. So the Lunar New Year, most people will have heard of like the Chinese New Year, and a lot of like the small shops will say, hey, orders are going to be delayed because of Chinese New Year. And that's basically, it's a very important celebration in China, but the reason why my event is the Lunar New Year and not the Chinese New Year is because it is celebrated in more than just China. And I wanted to acknowledge that, which is why my event is not called Chinese New Year. It is called Lunar New Year, because more than just China celebrates the event. No, you cannot have this. Get back. You cannot have these Legos. So there are a lot of countries that celebrate the Lunar New Year. It tends to be most popular in East and Southeast Asian cultures. So like China, Vietnam, Korea tend to celebrate it. But there are a lot of other countries that celebrate it as well. You'll see it in parts of... Oh, would you stop squishing the bag? You're going to make all sorts of crinkly noises. Move the paws. So you'll see it celebrated in all sorts of other countries throughout Southeast Asia as well. Like parts of it, you'll see it celebrated in parts of the Philippines. And this is not an all-inclusive list. This is just places that I know of that celebrate it. You'll also see it celebrated in, like when I was in Japan, when I lived in Japan, if you didn't know, I am active duty military, and I was stationed in Japan, in Okinawa, Japan, and we actually they celebrated there for a while. Also, I consider Hawaii home, and it is a very popular, we do celebrate it in Hawaii as well. So that's something that you do see celebrated in Hawaii, because we do have a big, obviously a very large Asian population in Hawaii. So it is something that is celebrated down in, with a pretty awesome festival in Oahu, which I love. I did not get to participate get to go these last couple of years when I was in Hawaii though, because of COVID, obviously, before I ended up out here in Southern California. So I can't wait to retire from the military and be able to move back to Hawaii and be back there and away from, let's see, I need what one? This is where I have to look at the directions of things. No, put the paws away. So, it's basically, there's a lot of cultures that celebrate it, and it's not just one day. It's like our regular, a calendar that we use typically in the Western world is considered a Gregorian calendar, whereas the lunar calendar that's celebrated, that we see for Let me see if I can do this and line this up perfectly. So they want it more of on the side here. So the Gregorian calendar, no, put the paw away. Thank you. Yes, you're polite. I like polite. The Gregorian calendar celebrates New Year on one day, January 1st. Whereas the lunar calendar has, celebrates it on a multiple day celebration for the Lunar New Year. And that's something that you'll see that it's based off of multiple days, not just a one-day celebration. Not just a one-day celebration. Let's see if that works right there. I should probably put it so you guys can see what I'm actually doing here. Putting my stickers on my rolly thing. Ooh, lined it up fairly well. Not the best, not super, super good, but lined it up fairly well. All right. And now we are going to put this right here. So, and the date varies from month to, or from year to year. So this year, 2024, the Lunar New Year falls or begins on February 10th because it's based on the lunar calendar. It's going to change every year. So that's something that varies from year to year. This year, February 10th. I think next year it falls in January. When I was looking at it, it falls in January next year. And in China, the Lunar New Year is actually known as Spring Festival. In Korean, which I do not pronounce Mandarin very well, so I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce it, but it's like Chunje. I totally slaughtered that. And Koreans will call it, it's like, again, my Korean, at one point I could actually do a good job of pronouncing my Korean, but when it's written out in like English, it's not nearly as well as when it's actually like written out in Hangul. So it's like Solol, and then Vietnamese refer to it as Tet. So it's, like I said, it's tied to the lunar calendar. It's a time for feasting and to honor your household and heavenly deities as well as your ancestors. And what's really cool about it is it typically begins with the, oh, I need to get my colors out. So it will typically begin with the, I don't do well when I'm trying to multitask, as you guys can probably see. So we're going to get the pieces that I need, and then we will put these together, or well, we will multitask. We will do the pieces parts and go from there. But let's see, it's tied to the lunar calendar. As I had mentioned, you have the feasting. I talked about that. And it typically begins with the first new moon, which is usually between the end of January, and spans the first 15 days of the first month of the lunar calendar until the full moon arrives, which is why it's called the Lunar New Year. So that's kind of the important piece of it, is the first new moon between the end of January and the first 15 days of the first month of the lunar calendar. So it's kind of that interesting aspect of it. And then each year in the lunar calendar is represented by one of the 12 zodiac animals, but at the same time, along with that, each of the zodiac animals, of the Chinese zodiac animals, also end up having like their own year. So like this is the year of the dragon for this year. And so one of them is going to go this way. We're going to focus as we do this so I can place it well, and then I will go back to talking. I was actually born in the year of the rabbit. And then, so you'll have a specific year, but then each month has a designated, each month is represented by an animal, but then you have a 12 cycle for the years as well. So everything is cyclical and goes through its process. So there's that one, and now we're going to do this one, which we're going to go back to doing this one the same way we did the original one, which is, this one was towards the top that way. And then this one, we're going to go towards the top this way. Make sure I lined that up well. So cycles of 12, that's one of the aspects for it. So when we look about, then it's really cool when you talk about the different animals. So you have your 12 zodiac animals, which I've mentioned them before. You have your rat, ox, tiger, rabbit, dragon, snake, horse, sheep, monkey, rooster, dog, and pig. And I think at some point, I don't know if I'm going to talk about it this week or if I'll go into the legend of the 12. I'll probably talk about the legend of the 12 animals next one, in my next video that I do talking about it. I may do that at the next one rather than doing it this one. Look at that. Now this can sit right here. Nope, that goes the other way around. I love it when I put something down and I'm like, I just did that backwards. So we're gonna turn that around. Oh, well, really that can stay there. It's just really I turned this part around. So that just needs to look like this. Just like that. This is when I get ahead of my directions. So now we just have the last one of these to do. And we have the little blue thing, the large one of these, and 2 of those. We're going to put this together here. And then I can put the sticker on and we'll talk again while I'm placing stickerage. And then we will be done with the base of our calendar. All right. So what's also, in addition to having the animals, in addition to our 12 zodiac animals, you also have 5 elements. So you've got earth, water, fire, wood, and metal. And they are kind of mapped onto the lunar calendar. And each year is associated with an animal that corresponds to an element. So this year is the wood dragon year. So that's what our element is, wood, for this year, 2024. So and dragons are a very auspicious animal. So there's a lot of people will specifically choose to have, they'll choose and hold off on having kids for a couple of years if they know, like if they're within a year or 2 of a specific zodiac animal. So that way they can have their children in that specific zodiac year, knowing that it's a very like auspicious year, because like dragons in particular are considered to be highly, it's a dragon, so they're considered to be very auspicious in particular. So that's something that you'll see a lot of times. See, now we are into 02. So we'll say 02, and today is 01. So I'll have to see how, we're going to put the fronting on it to mark the day, but so far we're at 0201. Boop. All right. And kitten is causing chaos. I've made a mess of my desk off to the left. So that's kind of the overall basics. And I'm going to go more into additional details of the Chinese New Year for you guys. Oh, and the Lunar New Year, because like I said, it's more than just China. Sushi, get off of that. We are not going to play with my paper. She's getting into my brush painting paper, which is not allowed. I do not want her squishing my paper. Sushi, kitten. Sushi, kitten. She is such a little brat thing. But that gives you kind of a little bit of an introduction to what, I love it when I do these backwards, what the new year is and what our zodiac, the different zodiac animals are, where it comes from. And there are a lot of different traditions that are associated with it, all the way from the food to everything else. So there are a lot of different traditions and foods and everything else that will vary very much so depending upon what the specific culture is. So depending on that country and what that culture is. Because like I said, it's not just China. It's more than just China. A lot of the things that I talk about will be more specific to China itself, just because that's where, you know, that's one of those things that is just tends to be a little bit more common in China than in some of the other countries. And that's what a lot of my resources and the information that I found will refer to or reference a little bit more so will be China itself. Sushi. Well, some of the basic ones, you know, you're going to basically, you want to celebrate with foods and different traditions that are going to symbolize prosperity, abundance, togetherness, and a lot of times you clean your house thoroughly, which is a common thing for even like a Western New Year as well, and that gets rid of your inauspicious spirits, which can collect during your the old year, and you'll kind of help to bring around the good luck and goodwill, which is beneficial to kind of help enhance the opportunities for a good luck for the new year. And then this is going to set right here. Look at that. So there's a lot of aspects that are going to kind of go into it. We're going to see if we can put this right in here and crunch that down. And now we've got our roller to mark that this is the first. And then tomorrow we can roll over. Well, you guys will be watching this on the second, which will go up boop, first to second. Look at that. So now we just get to do all the fun details for this. And this is something that is thought in like China. So I'm getting a lot of this off of the history channel, so history.com, for a lot of the information I'm going over today for you guys. So this is actually thought to date back to, in China at least, it's thought to, gotta go, this kitten, oh my goodness. The Chinese New Year can actually date all the way back, they've thought to date all the way back to the Shang Dynasty, so the 1300s, which is pretty crazy. Well, no, actually the 14th century BC. I was like, oh, 14th century. And then I didn't see the BC. So BC would be before Christ, which is 140 to 87 BC, which is pretty crazy. And that's one of those things that's crazy, crazy long time ago. So this is something that's been around for a very long time. It's not just something that's like, oh, arbitrary, quick, easy, simple, something that's new. This is something that's been around for centuries and longer. It's been around for thousands of years for the celebrating of the Lunar New Year and the Chinese New Year, which is pretty doggone awesome, I think. That's one of the things that I love about Chinese brush painting myself is the sense of like the sense of history and the sense of the culture, and pretty much any culture outside of American culture is the sense of history that you get from that culture, because we have such a new culture and such a new country in the United States, because it is such a new, oh look, and see, you can turn from there. There's our dials. We're such a new country. We've only been around for a couple hundred years. So when you get to something like China that's been around for thousands and thousands of years, it's pretty incredible. When you get into Asia, oh my goodness, the sense of history in Asia is just like, it's amazing. But, yeah. So originally it's thought to have, the Chinese New Year is originally thought to have been a holiday like Spring Festival. Because like I said, it originally kind of arose as a spring festival kind of a thing. And the Spring Festival is, and the holiday for it really kind of arose for, like because China was originally an agricultural society. So with that, you know, you have your Spring Festival, and that was to celebrate your harvest and your crops. Let me see. Here we go. Get the little person's hair. Get her hair here. I need this and this. She's got her drums. She's a taiko drummer. That's what she is. Boop. There we go. And where is her legs? I need her legs. There's her legs. And her other, there's her gong to beat the drum. If you've never watched taiko drummers, they're pretty awesome. So there's our first little person for our little dragon boat. All right. So now we can build our platform, or start building our platform. And where's our first piece? So we wanted bag number 2. All right. And let's see. So like I said, agricultural society, it was used to celebrate the harvest and could worship the gods and ask for more good harvests to come. So kind of an interesting original origin for it. And back in 1949, the communist leader, President Mao, or Communist Party leader Mao, actually forbade the celebration of the Chinese New Year within China and forced China to follow the Gregorian calendar, which is our calendar. And I believe it looks like in 1996, China actually reinstituted a week-long vacation called Spring Festival that kind of reinstituted the Chinese New Year and allowed people to kind of start celebrating it again. So they kind of reversed it a little bit and relaxed things a little and let people kind of go back to celebrating a little bit of their country, a little bit of their cultural heritage again. But that was only relatively recent, in 1996, that they started relaxing that a little bit, which is kind of like, it's really interesting when you kind of dive into things a little bit and see a little bit of how things change. I need to make sure I follow this the right way. But yeah, that's only been relatively recent. I had to kick the kitten out of the office because it would be fine if she was up here paying attention to me and what I'm doing. That'd be fine. But Sushi was like getting into absolutely everything else in my office and just like causing utter chaos. And it wasn't like, it was like turning on my HomePod and making music play that you can't have playing when you're doing things like this. She was going and jumping behind my easel and trying to knock things down. And I'm like, you are just being a little toot. So I had to kick her out of the office. It's the first time I've had to do that in quite a while. But yes, what's really cool is there are a lot of places, like the Spring Festival. I'm going to skip what I was going to say originally. So Spring Festival actually prompts major travel for hundreds of millions of people within China. And it'll swamp the public transit and public transportation as people will start to travel everywhere to go back to their original hometown to celebrate the new year. And it's something that has become... Basically, it's kind of like, you're going back home. It kind of has become a very popular festival in China again. So it's kind of cool to think about. Let's see. How is this doing it? I'm like, how am I doing this? Okay. I had to think about it. Sometimes I look at it and I'm like, this doesn't make sense. And then I get it. And now Mochi's like, I want my kitten. Why is this office door closed? She's in here with me. And she's like, why is the office door closed, Mom? I want the kitten. She was laying down in her bed. And now she's like, but the kitten's not in here. And I'm like, no, because the kitten was being a toot. So the kitten got kicked out. And now the kitten is mad at me. And mewling at the door like a little, all mad at Mom. She got kicked out because she was being chaos. Total chaos. So anyways, you have your, and they'll serve a bunch of different foods. You'll have your, basically you travel back to return home to be with family. And at the end of the festival, people will get the last meal served usually ends up being served with fish. That's usually one of the last things that you get served when you're at the end of the festival is fish, which is kind of an interesting dish. And then, well, not interesting, but it's a common dish for Asian cultures is fish. And also you'll have foods. What's really cool is in the Chinese language, the word for fish is also, the pronunciation for that is also the same as the word for surplus or abundance. in Mandarin. So that's why they serve fish at the end of the Chinese New Year, because it's, you know, because then it's like, well, you're eating fish, which really is the same pronunciation as saying that you're eating surplus or abundance. Also, you'll feature foods like glutinous rice ball soup, moon-shaped rice cakes. Those are really popular. Love those. Dumplings. And you can even have a coin tucked inside dumplings for good luck. Interesting. And then you'll also have, the holiday can conclude and end with a lantern festival, which is celebrated on the last day of the festivities. And you can light, they always have parades, dances, games, fireworks. And you'll have a lantern festival to celebrate the end of the event. And what's really cool is I'm actually going to on the Lunar New Year on the 10th, which is the actual, wrong one. The actual Lunar New Year is on the 10th of February. I am going to a Lunar New Year festival down in Palm Springs, which will be super fun. And on top of that, what's really cool is on I think it's the following weekend, I will actually be going to a lantern festival for the following weekend. The Lunar New Year festival that I'm going to down in Palm Springs is only a one-day one. And I think it's only one day because they didn't want to interfere with Super Bowl Sunday the following week, or the following day on the 11th, which I'm like, BS, come on. It's just the Super Bowl. Who cares about the Super Bowl? More important things. But I will be doing that, and then following up with the following weekend doing the Lantern Festival, where I believe I'd have to look whether it's a 1-day or a 2-day event. But part of the Lantern Festival will be the actual launching of the lanterns, where you get to actually, which if you've never done a lantern festival, those are super, super amazing, super fun, and they're just a wonderful experience doing a lantern festival. So I did one for the festival. It was called, I think it was like the Festival of Lights or something, or no, the Lights Fest, I think is what it was actually called. I did that back in November. The cats are playing through the door. I was going to go let the kitten in, but they're playing through the door, so I'm going to leave them be because they're playing and having a good time. So that's a little bit about like what we have in China. And I'm going to kind of leave it at that. Because we can also talk about, there's so many more things to talk about. Ooh, maybe I'll touch a little bit on, this also talks a little bit about Vietnam, and then a little bit about Korea, and then some Lunar New Year greetings, and we'll call that it, and move on from there. There's my little person, other body part for the person. So, we have, they always give the weirdest faces, that I don't get why they put weird faces on the other side of these people. Doesn't make sense to me, but I don't make the rules. I'm just here. I just work here. I don't make the rules. I just work here. So we are going to do da-da-da-da and joop. All right. So now we get to do, how many of these? I like that it doesn't give us like how many of these we need. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. And we're going to connect these here. Focus. We're going to do it like this. So, since I have to stare at this while I work on it. Boom, 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 boom. I would love to hear if you guys have gone to any Lunar New Year festivals near you. If you guys have checked any out or not, or if you have plans to go to any of them around you, because I would love to hear about it. I will definitely try to get some, take some photos, video footage, things like that to share with you all. because I think that would be awesome. So those of you that don't have anything around you can see what it can look like. I'm really looking forward to the food. I think it will be awesome and so much fun. So this is basically supposed to replicate some of the fireworks. That's what this is supposed to replicate. You're going to have some, like, the thing, but that, well, some of the ribbons and everything, but then also like the string of fireworks that you have on some of these ribbons. This one is just very much a little bit stiffer. They usually dangle down a little bit more, but it's fresh and brand new. So that guy's gonna dangle right there. He's just gonna lay there. All right, so we've got our little steppy stanchion thing. Now we're gonna go with this, this. Right, and I'll go, let's see. So in Vietnam, that only has a small section on this article, and I'm going to read you like different articles and like give you more information in each video. You'll learn more about everything for it. But this article only has a small little blip about Vietnam. But it does say that Vietnamese celebrations, they will decorate with kumquat trees and flowers, particularly peach blossoms, chrysanthemums, orchids, and red gladiolas. So just like with travel, or just like with China, your travel is going to be really heavy this time of year, which very common because of course everybody is usually traveling home to visit family, go back to your central hub during the holidays, and you'll have 5 fruit platters to honor the ancestors, is very common for Vietnam in this time of year as well. So that's something that we'll see during Tet celebrations. Also a common food you'll have will be bánh chung, which is a rice cake made with mung beans, pork, and other ingredients wrapped in bamboo leaves. That sounds delicious. I'm up for any food like that. Like, I love all the delicious foods in Vietnamese is on point. What's really interesting is I have a restaurant here where I live. It is, well, we have a donut shop called the Jelly Donut. And what's really funny is if you want Vietnamese, you get your Vietnamese. I put that one in backwards. You get your Vietnamese from the Jelly Donut, which seems so random, but that's how it works. You buy your Vietnamese, your pho, and everything else from the Jelly Donut. Yes. And the reason why is because the owner of the Jelly Donut is Vietnamese. So that's where you get your pho and everything here. It's the donut shop. Go figure. So random. But it works. And it's pretty decent Vietnamese. As it. So this needs to be like that. And we're going to put this one on. Boom, boom, boom. We're going to put our sticker. Started to lay my sticker off. The stickers are the hardest parts. All right. So you'll also see snacks called muttet. Muttet, I think is what it said. Yep, muttet are commonly offered to guests. They're sweet bites with dried fruits or roasted seeds mixed with sugar. That sounds really good. In Korea, during 1910 to 1945, they stopped the celebrations. And this is when the Empire of Japan kind of took over Korea and ruled it as a colony until the end of World War II. And then from there, we're going to put this one right in here. Oh, really? 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 You want to do that to me? And then from there, so this is going to go like that. And then that one is going to go right there. Look at that. Making progress. Joop. Very cool. Very cool. And then, so we're making progress on the different components. We're going to set this right over here. And celebrations of Solal were officially revived in 1989. So I love it when we have these places that were annexed or taken over, like the culture kind of stamped out, that can then kind of revive their culture and revive their identity and bring it back. I love seeing that. That makes me happy. And I love that. I love it. So it started to come back again in 1989, but a lot of families had started celebrating it earlier than then. North Korea had started celebrating the Lunar New Year along with the new lunar calendar in 2003, and prior to that, New Year only being on January 1st. So kind of interesting, the difference between North Korea and South Korea. So sliced rice cake soup, tteokguk, is prepared as a common dish for that. It's clear broth with white rice cakes, and it symbolizes starting the new year with a clean mind and a clean body. And so in China and in Vietnam, you give your money, you get money in like these red envelopes. That's a very popular way for getting money in the new year. But in, let's see, we want these and we want those. Hi, student Moch. But in Korea, it is a white and pattern envelope where elders will give them the New Year's money instead. And typically, you'll gather at the house of your oldest relative in Korea, which is kind of cool. The oldest male relative, actually, which is kind of cool. So that's a little bit about the different festivals, or well, that's a little bit about how 3 main countries will celebrate the Lunar New Year. So kind of cool, huh? The cats are causing chaos. Of course they're causing chaos. They do nothing but cause chaos. That's all they do is cause chaos. But yes, I like reading about it. It's kind of interesting trying to multitask, do this, and talk at the same time. It's tricky, tricky, tricky. I don't know that it goes over very well. It's hard to do. All right. And really, Mochi? Really? Boop. Here's our lantern. Lantern 1, lantern 2. Are you going to knock that over, Mochi? You're probably going to knock it over. Probably. Wouldn't surprise me. And then we're going to put this on the back of here. Look at us making progress, building things. Boop. Now we just have to put stuff on top of here to make that bigger and fancier. Because that needs to be all designed and motifed. I wish they would do it like before I put it onto there. That would be nice rather than putting it on and then having to build it up. It would have been nice to, you know, put this stuff on first. So I need the ones with sticky things. So hopefully you guys found some of that interesting and helpful to kind of hear about rather than disjointed and blah. Because I didn't want to totally read everything and I wanted to be able to do it, but doing and talking at the same time like that, I'm not used to doing that. I'm used to just going all in on my stuff. I'm just used to talking and not having to refer back to my iPad at all. But I feel like that was a pretty good introduction to Lunar New Year, and we'll go more in depth on some different aspects of it. These cats, they're funny. So anyways, I will kind of give you guys, that will be the main brief. Oh, okay, there's our 4. We're going to write 2024. I was wondering what we were doing up here. We are writing 2024 on this and putting it in there. Okay, so I'm going to set that over, and then we're going to work on our 2024 and put that in. So I think at this point, I'm going to go ahead and continue working because we're almost done with this. And then, let's see, I don't know if I'm going to time-lapse it or if I'm just going to work because we're already at the, like, I don't know. I may just continue talking to you guys and just going into this because we're up, like, I'm already so close to finishing this. And you can just hear me continue to ramble. I'm probably going to cut some of this dead space out of this video because I've done so much random dead space of the back and forth with the chaos from this cat. Oh my word, so much chaos from this cat. She's been a brat. Total brat, total brat. Total brat. But I mean, that's what you get for having a kitten, right? As my mom keeps reminding me, this is what I signed up for when I got a kitten, was total chaos. And I'm like, no, I didn't. I did not sign up for this. And she's like, yes, you did. And I'm like, no, I didn't. I did not sign up for this chaos. She's like, yeah, you did. Yeah, you did. How do I have an extra one? Where did this come from? Where did that come from? Did I miss it somewhere? Or is that just an extra piece? I think it's just an extra piece. Okay. Guess we got an extra piece. So this is going to go here. And we're going to do this one here. If I need to speed this up, I will speed it up. You guys won't have to hear me ramble. But anyways, I am super excited for this event. I'm super excited to be working on my kits for the event, which I should be able to start this weekend. 2024. Look at that. 2024. We are in 2024. Boom, 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 boom. And this is going to sit. Where does this sit? Oh, right here. Okay. Right there. Boop. Look at that. That's so much fun. That's what we've built so far. And then this part, which I guess will sit right here if I wanted it to. So that could sit on my desk like that as the calendar. And that would be one part of it. Okay, I like it. Okay, so that would make it so I could swap out for future years. So that's what that is doing. I get it. That makes sense. Okay. I got with the program there. That's what all these extra parts are for. I was like, why do I have all these extra parts? Okay. I see. We're just going to put a 5 on here in anticipation of next year, because I'm totally going to be using this from now on, and we can change it out each year. So there's our 5 for next year to fit right in that spot. All right, these are my extra parts. They go in my extra pile because I keep all my extra parts. Now we are going to build our dragon boat. So I'm going to go ahead and speed the dragon boat up and give you guys a time lapse of me working on the dragon boat to just make it super speedy, because it's not going to take very long to finish this. I think, maybe, I don't know. But, I'll just speed it up regular and call that a day. But because it's so close to being done, and this will not take me very long because this is a quick one. But anyways, this has been super fun. So you'll probably be hearing me either in fast time or I'll have dubbed over it. I haven't really decided. We'll see. I'm kind of making it up as I go and deciding what I want to do as I go. This is what I get for filming late at night. I just kind of make up what I'm doing as I go. We just kind of call it a do what we want as we want kind of a thing. Let's see, there's our little funky this thing. And ta-da! So now we have a dragon boat that can be that can do this right here. Boom, 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 boom. Or you can move it that way. So we have our dragon boat. Look at that. For our calendar. Or we can move our calendar over and set our calendar on the display that says 2024 and have it set up right there. That one's kind of a cool one. I don't know which one I like better. They're both kind of cool. With the dragon boat, with the waves, the little dragon, and the waves, which is kind of a cool little one. Or the display like this. They're both pretty doggone cool. So there we go. And then of course we have the people, which can sit up here on our display if we wanted. So we could have them sitting on the display right up in here to show off that it is 2024 that way. Boop. Look at that. Super cool. So super fun, super easy to do. I love these little Lego sets. Lego are so much fun to put together. Lego. If you have not done any, the kitten is back to causing chaos because guess what? That's what she does. And I keep all the extras and put them in here. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed me kind of talking about the Lunar New Year and a little bit about the basics of what it is and introducing you guys to it. So at this point, I'm going to go ahead and let you guys go for today. And I look forward to seeing you in the next one. So have a great day, everybody. Bye.